Well, we're passing Lake Worth, and there is a pollen alert today, and I actually sneezed 3 times, so I confirmed the pollen alert.
La 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 la.
Welcome to the Please Subscribe show. Today is about February 7th. Well, it's February 7th. It's not about February 7th, but it kind of is about February 7th. 2022. It's kind of a weird thing to say. 2022. 2022. Sounds a little bit better. 2021 sounded fine, but 2022, it just sounds too much in the future. So the story takes place in 2022 when all cars are flying and controlled by robots. Just flying a little bit above the ground, you just can't tell. All right, well, we're going to the Speedway. It would be cool to be able to fly, to have a flying car to do delivery service. Could you imagine? You know, you're like, oh yeah, here comes my nachos. Yeah, they do have some robots that do it on certain campuses and stuff. I've delivered at a place in Dallas at some university, and they had like little robots that would roll along the ground and have the food. But man, they're not always that accurate. But anyway, regardless, supposedly in the future the cars are going to fly and the robots are taking over a lot of stuff. But for now, we can go back. You can watch Cole Spivey's food delivery vlogs and remember that there once, a long time ago, there were no robots. There were just people. Anyway, as I was saying, you know, like when they're watching it back in like 3022, God, robots took over all those jobs. Well, robots aren't going to take over everything. Anyway, regardless, we're going to the Speedway to deliver food for friends. And we'll be dropping the food off at your doorstep. So enjoy. What I thought was interesting, a little bit symbolic, is the train is actually stalled, and so is traffic, because it's about 5:25 in the PM, in the post-meridian, and we'll have to deal with traffic all the way there. Start a little late today, but better late than never. We are not at the Speedway. You can tell right now we're not there. We're definitely not speeding at the Speedway, which you don't want to do. I mean, race cars go there, but we're definitely waiting at a very slow pace. And the clearance is enough headroom right there. Plenty of headroom right there. And finally, so it's about 5:44 and the traffic finally picked up right here, so we're kind of going now. Not a whole lot of development to the bridge over by Alliance, but a little bit. You can see kind of a progression each time I pass it. Right there, I noticed some new stuff right here. slowly but surely. All right, we're approaching the famous US 377, which goes this way. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it goes all the way from Fort Worth through Denton to Oklahoma. According to Wikipedia, all the way to Mexico. And that's 377 out there. This always reminds me of like columns in Rome. Well, we got one out of Papa John's, and I believe it's in Keller, so it's going through Westlake area and right into Keller to pick up some pizza and drop it off at your door. Gonna pick up pizza, gonna pick up pizza, gonna pick up some pizza, pizza at Papa John's. There we go. Pizza at Papa John's. It's kind of hard to say. Pizza at Papa John's. I was listening to this Deep Corridor by Brambles. It's actually kind of interesting. It sounds kind of like coffee boiling and then someone slurping it up in slow motion. So you can hear this boiling like water or something, and then it sounds like someone slurping something up in slow motion. Then there's like a rhythmic boom, boom. You should listen to it. Listen to it. It's pretty cool. Night train. Can't really see it that well, but you can hear it. Well, it's 7:21. He doesn't roll them this late, so no hot dogs. But I talked to a 7-Eleven guy, and they said they're supposed to roll them for 24 hours a day. We'll find out. 7-Eleven down there. Well, we picked one up at a virtual restaurant known as Wild Burger under the chain of Buffalo Wild Wings. Some of the restaurants, for example, like Buffalo Wild Wings, have a virtual restaurant, which is inside the restaurant. And I think it's Buffalo Wild Wings that uses the one called Wild Burger. And I guess if they don't have their tablet, or I don't know all of the situations behind it, but sometimes that order they won't even be able to place the order. Or I don't know, for some reason that Buffalo Wild Wings was able to do ones in the past, but they usually have trouble with that. Some other places, for example, like Chili's has one called like It's Just Wings, which that manager at that Buffalo Wild Wings knew about, and other apps use that too. So I don't know. I've never really understood it. It's like a third-party name, but usually It's Just Wings, they don't really ever have a problem with it at all, which is under Chili's. So I don't know. So they didn't have it, so I had to say that their virtual store was down. I guess because sometimes they don't have the tablet to look at it, so if they can't see it, then they can't really make the order. So that's one problem sometimes with some of the restaurants. You have to be wary of that. Well, regardless of Wild Burger and Buffalo Wild Wings, Wild Burger being the virtual store and them not seeing it or whatever, picked one up in Grapevine at a place called Chick-fil-A. So they're usually fine. So did Chick-fil-A, what I call the second church. I need to do some like research on Chick-fil-A, because there's a whole thing about Chick-fil-A. It's got a Christian background on it and everything. I always call it the second church when it comes to, chicken fast food, if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's still a nice place to go, so we're going there to pick up one, drop it off at your doorstep. Food for friends. Well, we've made it to Chick-fil-A, what I call the second church. And I gotta run in there and grab that one and head on out. Oh, they have pretty cool Coldplay mosaic in the restroom. So this drop is in an American Airlines building, is what they said. There's one of the planes right there. I've been on this one a few times. It's right by one of the hangars. There's one of the major mechanic hangars right there for American Airlines. Okay, yeah, I've delivered here before, so you got to be careful on this one because this leads you to a parking lot, and there's another way in on the other side over that way. So he's right over this way. And this is kind of the American Airlines building he was talking about. Okay, so we found them. And now, moving on. So I guess that's the American Airlines building he was talking about. There's a lot of hangars here. All kinds of complex stuff that usually comes outside. So that was very nice of him. It's really cool to look in there and see the aircrafts, 747s, all the other ones being worked on. Those are American. They look like maybe American Eagle, probably smaller airlines or smaller airplane. It's a pretty cool hangar. I'm on what's called Airfield Drive. So there's like an American Airlines kind of center area. Well, we found one here at McDonald's, and McDonald's has actually got a little bit of ice on the parking lot area. Mickey D's. Great place to get breakfast. Really good place. I actually like some of their breakfast sandwiches, to be honest. And their coffee's pretty good. And away we go. Well, we're in a little apartment complex in Grapevine, and with the name of Dove, right off of Dove Road. Looks like someone left their grill out. Well, we're headed to Burger Box in Bedford. We just picked one up there, so we're gonna pick that up and drop it off at a doorstep. There, it's kind of hard to see, but it's a wayside cross right there, entering in Bedford. It's very distinct. This is Burger Box, right here. It's an older one. My grandma used to actually go here. Well, actually, my great-grandma would get stuff at Burger Box. Her name was Nanny Wawa. She'd buy burgers at Burger Box. They used to have these barbecue brisket, like chopped brisket burgers, I guess you. And they got shakes, Bluebell ice cream. And they've been here since 1975. Oh, these are awesome photos. You got Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, James Dean, and Humphrey Bogart. And same thing here. They're like in a movie theater. It's Humphrey Bogart, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, James Dean, and then another photo. Like in a pool room. That's a movie theater. It's right before a movie house. Well, that's Burger Box. And yes, my great-grandmother used to get burgers here. It's a pretty cool place. And let me tell you, I had to use the restroom number 1 for a pretty good one. It's a long drive. I was holding it. Finally got there. But that's a cool little restaurant right here. And they've got good burgers and shakes too. It's a pretty good one. Never noticed if the moon is pretty much almost at either the third or first quarter right now, which is like a half moon. They either call it the first or third quarter. I think what's on the right side, I'll have to think about this one for a minute. So when it's on the right side, then it's the first quarter. So when the moon's split in half and it's on the right side that you can see it, that means it's the first quarter. Wow, I'm right over at precinct line. Gas is $3.11 right there. It's usually pretty cheap right there too, the QT. And we are at a Sonic in the Bedford area. Or actually Hearst, I think. This one's called Number 4, A Tale of Two Truckers. It's off a thing called Hope Is My Middle Name. It's actually a pretty good one. It's a podcast. I was looking up popular podcast, and this one's actually a pretty good one. This one's about truckers. Well, we'll be turning on Central and dropping off this Sonic. Alright, we'll have to drop this one off. And it could be the last one for the night. So we'll see. Well, that's a wrap. We're going back to Fuel City, get a little bit of gas, and then head back in Fort Worth. A lot of things I want to talk about in my life, but I have to be honest with everyone, and I don't share every single thing about what I'm going through. I know it's kind of a work vlog, but all I have to say is I ask for prayers for a certain person in my life, just to pray. And I know that's, we all want ultimately I guess what I'm trying to say is that we want everything to go our way, but what I'm asking is just y'all I'll have to tell y'all about all this later. I just asked for prayer, but it's just I wish I could tell you every single thing about all the personal stuff, but I do have to have somewhat of a private life too, But anyway, y'all have a good night. I think all vloggers probably understand that. There's only so much they can share. But anyway, got that last one dropped off, and I'm gonna get some fuel, some gas. All right, y'all have a good night. Well, got some gas at Fuel City. Didn't seem like anything exciting really going on there. So, does look like a good vlog though. The taco place there looks like a pretty good one, although the burritos are a little expensive. But anyway, y'all have a good night, and see y'all next time. Remember, please subscribe, and also you can hit the notifying bell. That'll help you, on the next vlog, so it'll alert you immediately whenever a vlog is posted on my channel. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good night.